everybody, this is Blade from the TheHiddenBlade channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Bowser's Fury as a follow-up to the video I did last week, which was covering Super Mario 3D World. Bowser's Fury is a pack-in title that came in with Super Mario 3D World, which was a re-release of a game on the Wii U. But I think you all know that by this point. I think what you really want to know is what's different from this game to Super Mario 3D World. Is it basically just DLC? Is it an expansion pack? Or is it an entirely different adventure? Well, that will all be explored in this video. Honestly, I think that Bowser's Fury might be better than Super Mario 3D World only if Nintendo utilized it more. It only got its potential as much as Nintendo utilized it. It's a very short campaign. It only took me about 3 hours, but other than that, it's very fun. It's incredibly fun, and I would just pick up Super Mario 3D World just for this. It's a short 3-hour adventure. Well, it takes you a little bit of time, but still, it's super fun. There's large areas to explore. They utilize the concepts they didn't properly utilize in the main game. The art style is very fun. It's a nice combination of Super Mario Odyssey's art style and Super Mario 3D World's art style. And they come together perfectly to give everything a nice shine to it. And it looks polished. And when Bowser appears and everything gets dark and gloomy, the rain looks amazing and the darkness really grows and the shadows really stretch. It's quite incredible on how the art style really changed from Super Mario 3D World to this epic grand adventure. The movement and gameplay in Bowser's Fury is incredibly enjoyable and not really hard to understand, which isn't very nice. There were a couple moves which I couldn't master, but that might just be because I didn't really bother to look into them too much. I didn't really have the necessary needs. Like, I wanted to go in and learn how to roll or jump, or it's just some moves in general. But other than that, the gameplay is incredibly nice and enjoyable. And I really like the open world nature of the game. Like, if you're having trouble on one shine, you can go on to the next. This is why I mentioned in Let's Make a Bowser's Fury 2 video, I mentioned that I really liked that mechanic because you were able to switch around a bunch. And if they were to make a sequel to Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, I'd want these two games to, mesh. I think that'd be pretty fun. And I like how if you're struggling on one shine, you go to another one. But if you do this shine, you complete this world in this area. And all the shines feel very unique. There's only 100 of them, so they're not too hard to get. And I have 100%ed Bowser's Fury, which I've found incredibly enjoyable. And it wasn't that hard. But at the same time, this is the perfect game for the Switch. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, these two are perfect games for a console like the Switch, where all of their shines, collectibles, levels, anything, they're all perfect to do in a literal minimum amount of time. So if you have a very small amount of time, they're just perfect to do. You got 20 minutes? Oh, perfect. I collected 5 shines, put it in my bag, and on we go. Everything works super well. And unlike the Wii U, where that was a sit-at-home play console, it works so well on a console that's portable. And if they would have put it, a very small version of it on something like the 3DS, that would have sold incredibly. It just had to be different enough and on a console that was cool enough to make it function. Now, I would mention the story of Bowser's Fury, but the issue there is the game really doesn't have any, and that's one of its major flaws. The story of the game is that you're essentially brought into this land. You see Bowser, and he's freaking out, and you see Bowser Jr. panicking, and he's like, oh, my dad got super angry, and now he's all fury mode, and that's your story. You go on from there. And there's gigabells that you use for boss fights? What are the gigabells? Where did they come from? Where exactly are we? There's just a lot of things to be questioned that the game's not going to give you any answers to. Speaking of Bowser Jr., he is your main helper in this game. He could either be used not at all, or he could be used as a second player. The choice is really yours. He can be used a little bit to find secrets and kill enemies, but other than that, he's not really that useful, which I find kind of annoying, because he does seem to be one of the main focuses of the game, but he doesn't really get utilized that much other than for secrets and finding other things. So I think he's kind of a lame addition. And also, boss fights. These are some of the most interesting parts in Bowser's Fury. And I really like how they're strategically done. And the difficulty kind of ramps up from there. Like, in the first boss fight, it's very simple. You wait for Bowser to come at you, and then you ground pound onto him and jump onto him. Very simple, very easy. You can get your head around that. But, and then the next boss fight, he's gained pillars, and you have to hit them with it while he's rolling around like a shell. It's insane, and the difficulty just kind of ramps up from there. And while we're here, I'm going to mention completion rewards. If you 100% Bowser's Fury, which means getting all 100 shines, it means that Bowser Jr. becomes Cat Bowser Jr. And I can't really explain it that much, but he essentially puts on cat paint and looks similar to Mario. And also, Mario, when he's a cat, gains the Super Saiyan Mario suit as permanently as when he's a cat and he has the cat power-up. There's also a small picture done at the end of the game if you beat it, and there's a new ending and stuff like that. But other than that, it doesn't really change that much other than aesthetic things, which is still pretty cool if you 100% the game, which I would definitely recommend. And that's where I'm going to wrap it up for today, everybody. This has been Blade from the TheHiddenBlade channel. I hope you enjoyed both of these videos. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all later, and bye!